Welcome back, everyone. Editing RedScale here. This is going to be a bit of a shorter episode because, for whatever reason, my recording software decided to not record any audio for a full 2.5 hours of gameplay. That was fun to find out, and should be fixed for next episode. Thankfully, this was another episode of working through all the open world exploration and side quests from the starting area before moving on with the main plot line. So I'm mainly just going to talk over the main points of what went down. So, started off with fighting these rare ostrich monsters, and these things hucked rocks and could transform us into frogs. Just a note, I really hate getting turned into a frog. Always have, as far back as the original. Thankfully, it seems to wear off eventually, but I had to swap to red for a bit until it did. Thankfully, I didn't have to fight them again because I was able to beat them in the first round. Next, I went to go fight the area's secret monster fight, the Quetzalcoatl. Personally, I recall there being a summon materia by that name in the original game, but I guess not in this one, at least not yet. Fight was a bit rough, having a couple of KOs. Thankfully, action economy was on my side, and with having gotten its ice weakness fairly early on, I was able to make use of my ice magic and Shiva to handle it relatively well. Thank goodness there was no time limit. I was very much having to slowly whittle it down until I was able to get Shiva to start laying down the pain. On a side note, Chadley just turning down Mai's volume is just utterly savage. After that, went and finally got around to collecting the flowers quest. That started me on going and exploring this whole area. Pretty simple, all things considered. Just kill a few monsters, look at the image, and piece together which flowers I need to gather. Part of me wonders if this has a few different combinations it randomly gives, or if there's just a single layout, and a part of me that wonders what happens if I gather the wrong color flowers. But perhaps that'll be for another playthrough. On my way back, I went to Calm and got a few more side quests. The first I handled being this bartender who lost a card in a game of Queen's Blood and wants me to win it back for him. So I go and track the guy down and win a match against him, just to find out he sold it off already. Son of a... And so he sends me to this collector. Fine, I'll deal with that eventually. I also got asked to check in on a fellow merc from Midgar who had been sent out to repair a leak in the city's Mako pipeline. Come to find out, it's just this girl from the prior game thinking we hadn't left Midgard and was trying to make profit off of Cloud's reputation. And so she recruited us to gather supplies to repair the pipe before heading off to repair it. Of course, the pipe leaking resulted in some strange monster giving us issues, and Little Miss Merc used this chance to get away and go pick up the reward. So, before heading back to town, I headed off to the ranch, where they had issues with some monster taking their livestock. So, with the help of our chocobo, we tracked the creature down to its lair, where we went to fight it, and jeez, this beast was nasty. Was launching all these big old clouds of fireballs to track you, just chewed through health. Took me a second try to get through this fight. At the end, Red got himself a nice little treat from the rancher too. So at this point, I head after that collector that had the card from earlier, who also challenges me to a game. I gotta say, I'm kinda surprised at just how far the starter deck is carrying me in this. Typically, these side games start simple and easy, but rapidly make you need to start making edits to your deck in order to have a chance. I will eventually remake my deck likely, but then have to go through a lot of trial and error to get it fine-tuned. With all those side quests done, I returned to the mayor who asked me to get the pipeline repaired. At least our merc friend left payment for us and our help. Else I might have just killed her the next time I saw her. Then I went to return the bartender's card before he just left it with me, realizing he wasn't going to be able to hold on to it with his skill. He and then Tifa talked bartender talk, which was kind of sweet to see. Once all that was done, turned out Broden had another favor to ask, helping a friend of his repair a windmill. Seems he is having some health issues too, but he kind of waves off our concern. So, heading out to the windmill, turned out we already had everything we needed to finish it on the spot. Returning to Broden to relay his friend's message, we get the hint of him being called and drawn to somewhere, just like the other guys in black robes from the last game. Not a good sign for our friend here. With that all handled and calm completed for now, we went and returned the flowers to the ranch girl, then went off into the swamp, fought the last of the rare variant encounters, and got the last of the Titan shrines so that I can handle that later on. After finishing out the last of the points of interest, I went back to Chadley and started cranking out his new battle simulations, chewing my way through them. Finally, it was time to refight Titan, kick his butt for the smackdown he laid on me before, and claim myself a new summon materia. And that's about all that happened in this one. And with that, that's going to be the end of this episode. Sorry again for the audio problems, folks. I will do my utmost to make sure it doesn't happen again. See y'all in the next one. Take care.